Welcome back to Tell Me More Stories Told as Podcasts.
Yes, welcome back, everybody.
Today, we're going deep on the Weeknd.
A true musical enigma.
He's gone from, relative obscurity to headlining the Super Bowl,
Right.
but his journey is anything but like a straight line.
Anything but, yeah, it's a fascinating story.
It really is.
Like, he embodies this, classic starving artist narrative, but on this global scale.
Yeah.
We're talking Super Bowl, Grammys, acting.
Right.
Yet he came from really, really tough beginnings.
So let's start at the beginning. Our sources kind of paint this picture of his early life in Toronto.
Right.
Born Abel Makkonen Tesfaye.
Right.
And his Ethiopian heritage seems to be a big influence, wouldn't you say?
A huge influence,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's not just biographical, you can hear it.
Yeah.
Especially in his vocal style, that use of vibrato, that almost pain quality.
Yeah.
Music critics have connected this to Ethiopian musical traditions, so it adds a whole other layer to how we understand his music.
But then there's this sharp contrast, right? Like dropping out of school at 17, homelessness, even brushes with the law. These weren't just like hardships.
Right.
They really shaped him and his art.
They're woven into the fabric of his early music, which, by the way, was released, initially, anonymously on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there's this rawness to it.
Totally.
Almost a haunting quality to these early tracks. They delve into partying, drugs, the darker side of pleasure,
Yeah.
a world away from the polished pop we often associate with him now.
Right, and that's what I find so interesting, like that raw sound, those dark themes. That's what caught Drake's attention.
Yeah.
It's like a modern-day fairy tale.
Yeah.
This struggling artist discovered online by a superstar.
It is. It's a testament to his talent, but also his vision, right? He cultivated this mysterious persona. We're talking that androgynous voice.
Yeah.
Deeply personal, sometimes unsettling lyrics.
Totally.
It captivated people. And honestly, it was a brilliant setup for what came next.
Which, of course, was Trilogy.
Trilogy.
This compilation of his remastered mixtapes
Right.
really announced his arrival. It went platinum, proof that his early work resonated with a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So what do you think it was about Trilogy that clicked?
I think it's the honesty, the vulnerability, even amidst the partying and darkness, there's this emotional core that people connected with.
Yeah.
Plus, he was already blending genres, R&B with these touches of punk, dream pop, even alternative rock.
Wow.
He wasn't just fitting in, he was creating this space that felt familiar, yet totally unique.
And let's not forget the visuals.
Oh, the visuals, yeah.
Those early music videos. Dark, grainy, almost surreal.
Yes.
They perfectly captured the mood.
They did. It was a total artistic experience. And remember, he was still relatively anonymous at this point.
Right.
It added to the intrigue. Who was this guy creating this captivating, sometimes disturbing art?
Right.
It was like a puzzle, drawing people in.
Before we move on to the Weeknd's rise to superstardom, I just gotta say, if you're loving this deep dive, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss any of our future episodes on Tell Me More.
Now, let's talk about beauty behind the madness.
Okay.
This is where we see his sound really evolve, embrace more pop elements, but without sacrificing that edge that made him unique.
And the collaborations during this period were huge, too, right?
Huge, yeah.
Working with artists like Ariana Grande
Oh, yeah.
definitely broadened his reach, showed his range.
Definitely.
I mean, Love Me Harder, that song was everywhere.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't escape it. But even with that mainstream success, he maintained this sense of artistic integrity.
Yeah.
He wasn't chasing trends, he was shaping them.
Absolutely. And he still pushed those boundaries, even within the pop sphere. Take Can't Feel My Face.
Right.
It's got this infectious disco vibe. But lyrically, it dives into those darker themes. Addiction, the cost of fame.
Yeah.
So what do you think drew him to that juxtaposition?
Well, I think it reflects the duality of his persona. He's always embraced both the light and the dark. And that resonates with people.
Yeah.
We see that in The Hills, too. His first diamond-certified single.
Wow.
That moody, atmospheric track.
Yeah.
It perfectly captures the complexities of his persona and the themes he loves to explore.
It's like he was building his own musical universe.
Yes.
This place where darkness and light coexist, where vulnerability and power are intertwined.
And it resonated.
Yeah.
People saw themselves in those struggles, those triumphs, that exploration of the beautiful and the messy sides of life. It's honest, it's raw, and it's incredibly powerful.
Speaking of power, we can't ignore his record-breaking success on the Billboard charts.
Oh, absolutely not. He became the first artist to hold the top 3 spots simultaneously on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart.
Wow.
And this chart specifically tracks the most popular R&B and hip hop songs in the US. So for him to dominate like that, it speaks volumes about his appeal across different demographics. Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Blinding Lights, a song that made Billboard Hot 100 history. A longest charting song by a solo artist.
That's incredible.
It's a defining moment.
Yeah.
A testament to his lasting impact.
What's remarkable about that song is its staying power.
Absolutely.
It transcended being just a hit.
Right.
It became a cultural phenomenon. I mean, used in TikToks, memes, you name it. It really shows how a well-crafted pop song can capture the zeitgeist and become part of the cultural fabric.
Oh, for sure.
And it's mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah.
His journey started with those grainy YouTube uploads.
Humble beginnings.
It's a testament to the fact that authenticity, coupled with creativity, can lead to incredible success.
Yeah.
Even in an industry as competitive as music. But it's not just about the music, is it?
No, it's not. The Weeknd story is about more than just musical achievements.
Right.
He's also a successful businessman, a philanthropist, even an actor.
He's used his platform to address racial equality, social justice, and he's contributed significantly to various charitable causes.
You're right. It's inspiring to see how he's using his success to make a positive impact.
Yeah.
It speaks to his character.
Yeah.
And his desire to give back.
Exactly. He's not just focused on his own success. He's committed to using his influence to help others, which is a powerful message, especially coming from someone who's achieved so much.
Hopefully.
And that kind of brings us to his ventures outside of music, which have been just as diverse and honestly unexpected.
Yeah, like his acting debut in Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems, yeah.
That definitely caught people off guard.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bold move, especially working with the Safdie brothers.
Right.
Known for their, intense, gritty filmmaking style.
It was risky, but it paid off. He didn't just dip his toe in, he jumped right in with a critically acclaimed performance.
Yeah.
Plus, he contributed to the film's soundtrack, further blurring the lines between his music career and acting.
That blurring of lines seems to be a recurring theme for him.
It does, doesn't it?
Constantly pushing those boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Experimenting with different creative avenues.
Absolutely. He doesn't seem content with staying within one genre or medium.
Yeah.
Take that American Dad episode he co-wrote and starred.
Oh, yeah.
Who could have predicted The Weeknd as a cartoon voice actor?
Right? It shows a sense of humor.
Definitely.
A willingness to not take himself too seriously.
Right.
And then there's The Idol.
Ah, yes. The
HBO series he co-created, which definitely stirred up a lot of conversation.
The Idol certainly sparked debate. Some praised its boldness, its exploration of the music industry's dark side, while others criticized its graphic content and portrayal of female characters.
It's interesting how his ventures outside of music also seem to evoke such strong reactions.
Yeah.
It's like he can't help but provoke, challenge those conventional norms.
It goes back to his personality, this embrace of duality.
Yep.
He's never been afraid to explore the complexities of human nature, both in his art and his life.
But amidst the controversy and experimentation, there's also this sense of purpose.
Yes.
This using his platform for good.
You're talking about his philanthropy, right?
Yeah.
His work with organizations like the UN World Food Program, his donations to various social justice organizations. He's using his celebrity to raise awareness for important causes and make a tangible difference. What stands out to you about his philanthropic efforts?
I think it's his focus on issues that directly affect marginalized communities.
Yeah.
Like his support of the Black Lives Matter movement, his efforts to combat hunger and poverty in Ethiopia, they're incredibly impactful. It shows a genuine commitment to using his platform for social good.
It's a reminder that even someone who's achieved extraordinary heights can remain grounded and dedicated to giving back. But as we delve into his philanthropy and this positive impact, it's important to acknowledge the controversies that have also been part of his journey.
Right, like there have been accusations of plagiarism, criticism for certain lyrics, even legal troubles. These are aspects we can't overlook.
The plagiarism allegations especially have been a recurring theme. Some claim certain songs bear a striking resemblance to previously released tracks, leading to lawsuits and legal battles. How do you think these allegations have impacted his career and public perception?
It's definitely complicated. Some fans might just dismiss them.
Yeah.
While others might feel conflicted.
Right.
It forces us to grapple with the question of artistic influence versus outright copying.
Right.
And that's a complex conversation.
It is. Then there's the criticism regarding some of his lyrics, which have been accused of being misogynistic and at times even homophobic.
Yeah, particularly in his earlier work, like on Trilogy, where there's a glorification of a lifestyle that includes drug use and objectification of women. While his lyrical content has evolved as he's matured, there's still been instances where certain lines sparked controversy and calls for boycotts.
Yeah. It highlights the responsibility that comes with artistic expression, especially when you have a massive platform.
Yeah.
Words have power, and it's crucial to consider their potential impact.
It's a reminder that even someone as talented and influential as The Weeknd isn't immune to making mistakes or expressing viewpoints that can be hurtful or offensive.
Absolutely. It's important to hold artists accountable for their words and actions, while also recognizing the capacity for growth and change. It's a delicate balance, but crucial for meaningful conversations about art and its impact on society.
So considering all these complexities and contradictions, how do you think The Weeknd will ultimately be remembered? What will his legacy be?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's challenging to predict how history will judge someone who's still actively creating and evolving. But one thing is for sure, he's already left an undeniable mark on music and beyond.
His impact on the sound of popular music is undeniable.
Okay.
He's helped blur those genre lines, creating a sonic landscape that's both experimental and accessible. And his visuals, his fashion sense, his overall persona, it's all contributed to his status as a cultural icon.
And then there's his philanthropic work, that willingness to use his platform to advocate for social justice and support these important causes.
Right. It demonstrates that artists can be more than just entertainers.
Yeah.
They can be agents of change, using their influence to make a positive impact on the world. But his legacy will likely also be intertwined with the controversies that have surrounded him.
Right. The plagiarism allegations, the lyrical content that's been deemed offensive, the mixed reception to his acting, these are all part of his story and will undoubtedly factor into how he's remembered.
It speaks to the complexity of The Weeknd as both an artist and a human being.
Yeah.
He's someone who's embraced contradiction, never shying away from life's darker sides.
And that's what makes his story so compelling. He's not one-dimensional. He's multifaceted, with both triumphs and flaws, just like all of us. It's a reminder that even those at the pinnacle of fame and fortune still grapple with the same complexities we all face.
So as we look ahead, what new frontiers do you think he'll explore? He's hinted at retiring his stage name, maybe creating music under his birth name, Abel Tesfaye. He's even talked about his upcoming album possibly being his final hurrah as The Weeknd.
Yeah. It almost feels like he's entering a new phase, shedding his skin, evolving yet again. And that's what makes him so captivating to follow. He keeps us guessing, keeps us engaged, keeps us thinking. He's a testament to the fact that artistry is a journey, not a destination, and that evolution is essential for any creative spirit to thrive. What do you think his potential shift away from the Weeknd persona could mean for his music?
It's exciting to think about. It could mark a departure from the themes and sounds we've come to associate with The Weeknd,
Right.
perhaps allowing him to explore a different side of his artistry, maybe even more personal and introspective. It's a chance for reinvention.
And that brings up a fascinating point about artistic reinvention.
Uh-huh.
We've seen him shift and evolve throughout his career.
Yeah.
How do you think this potential change will be received by his fans and critics?
That's hard to say. Some fans might welcome this new chapter, embrace his growth and evolution. Others might be attached to the Weeknd persona and find it hard to let go. It'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. But even with all this talk about potential shifts, we can't ignore the fact that he's already achieved so much.
Absolutely. He's broken records, pushed boundaries, and sparked countless conversations.
Right.
He's influenced a generation of artists and left an undeniable mark on pop culture.
Yeah.
And as he continues to explore new creative avenues, who knows what other surprises he has in store? What are your thoughts on his legacy so far, and what do you think will be his lasting impact?
His influence is undeniable, especially on contemporary R&B and pop music. He's opened doors for artists who blend genres and embrace a darker, more experimental sound. And beyond music, he's shown the power of using your platform for good, advocating for social justice and giving back to communities in need. Expert speaker.
Right.
And he's shown that artists can be more than just entertainers.
Right. They can be these agents of change, using their influence to make a real positive impact.
It's almost like his career mirrors our times, wouldn't you say?
In what sense?
This constant push and pull between celebrating success, and grappling with the complexities of fame and influence.
Yeah.
It makes you think about how we, as listeners, as consumers of culture, reconcile the art with the artist.
Yeah.
Can we separate the work from the person, especially when that person is flawed, controversial, maybe even problematic at times?
It's a question without easy answers, that's for sure. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
It demands, critical thinking, understanding the context,
Yeah.
and recognizing that artists, like everyone else, are capable of both great and not so great things. It's about looking at the whole picture.
It's about finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
Appreciating the talent, the creativity, acknowledging the impact of the art, but also being mindful of the artist's actions and how those might affect our perception of their work.
Exactly, and I think having these open and honest dialogues about the art we consume and the artists we follow is so important. It's through those discussions that we can develop a more nuanced understanding of the relationship between the creator and their creation.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of The Weeknd,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this? What's that lingering thought, the question that kind of sticks with them?
I think for me it's this. The Weeknd story isn't this, simple tale of success. It's messy, it's complicated, it's full of contradictions, and maybe that's what makes it so human, so relatable.
Yeah.
It reminds us that even those who reach the highest levels of fame and fortune still grapple with the same complexities we all face. It encourages us to look beyond the surface, to see the person behind the persona and engage with their art thoughtfully and critically.
And who knows what the future holds for him? I mean, he's talked about retiring his stage name, exploring music under his birth name, Abel Tesfaye. He's even hinted that his upcoming album could be his, quote-unquote, final hurrah as The Weeknd. It's like he's on the verge of a new phase, shedding a skin, evolving yet again.
And that's what makes him so captivating. He keeps us guessing, engaged, thinking. He's proof that artistry is a journey, not a destination, and that evolution is essential for any creative spirit to thrive.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of The Weeknd. We hope you learned something new, gained a new perspective, and maybe even discovered a new appreciation for the man behind the music. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep telling more stories.